creating new file .env .test mode .js not js sorry. So writing next public API URL be http localhost. We already have a port number, that is 3002, already specified in config. And next public media store URL, static images, next public Google Tag Manager ID, GTM-terminal. Now we are moving to the package.json. What we need to change it here, we need to write in test and test watch also enbcd we need to specify the environment dot env dot test dash mode. The same thing we need to do it here also. envcmd f slash dash f dot slash env slash dot env dot test mode. Now you need to run it. cd documents, cd github, cd soundslip, cd asset start API in a test mode. Okay, so we just missed one config addition, config.json. We just need to add for test mode also. Now our API is running. Now we'll go to create user test.js. What we'll do, we will write const fetch equals to user service dot create user and user service dot create user. We're also writing a mock function, but inside of that we're passing data and it's asynchronous. And what data we're actually passing when create a user? So we are passing the creation data, that is ID, name, URL, Gmail, gender, date of birth, role and all. So we need to write a assertion here that that everything that we are passing, and after hitting the that API, everything is coming proper or not. So write it here, const response await fetch with the data. We're expecting the response dot message to be successfully created user. The next, what we're gonna check, expect a response or status is to be true or not. And then again next, expecting response dot entity dot name to be truthy. So every time we don't have a particular name or particular ID, because every time it will gonna create a random name, random ID. So we're checking that it is true or not, the activity is coming or not. So we'll check for others also. Name, email, gender, role, and what are the terms and condition, any other thing, and DOB is there, right? DOB. Checking the value of these things, and we'll gonna remove this part. We'll remove this part. So we'll check that should successfully create user or not. E dot only so it is failing. Let's see where it is failing. Okay, it is not able to connect with the API. So we have some issues. Okay, so my service dot my method name is create user small u, and wherever it is using here also. First we are testing the first one, we are not changing that, the second test cases. And next in DB factory by mistake we added apply, and it is not a date, it's in a string form date. And in our test mode.json in config file we haven't added the environment name is test mode, so we need to add it as a test mode. Okay, so after this we're gonna see if it is working fine or not. No, there's another issue. Okay, so Why it is happening? Because we haven't returned the response value from user service.create user. So return the response. Yeah, now it is working. So how we achieved context driven? First, we are creating a data structure what we're gonna return from API. So we're gonna define it in a DB factory. Then we are changing into the repository and we're setting the environment. If the environment is in test mode, then build the structure, build the data basically, and take the structure from DB factory and build the data and send it to the user who is actually hitting. So the user is our we actually our in a test mode, and we're hitting that and we're getting the data from that test mode API. And after that, our UI environment also need to add test mode.environment. So specifying that when we are hitting the API, the API URL will be created from that test mode environment. And in package suggestion, we need to add that, specifying that which environment we need to use when you are running in test mode. So that was the configuration part. And in a testing part, we need to write a mock function. Inside of that mock function, we are writing that fetch that contains the whole definition of a user service.create user method, and we are directly hitting that with the data value that we are getting from the form, and whatever the response we are getting, we are also checking that the response is coming properly or not. And this works in this way. So this is how you can implement wherever you have used only jest.function and you have only returned your own response. So you can use DB factory to return the response. I haven't changed this one, the next test case. I only changed the first one. You can do it by yourself also. Okay, so I have also checked with that user service.create user to have been called with or not, that what value we are calling. So we are calling with the whatever the value we are passing in the screen, and we are checking the router also. So in this way you can achieve that context driven development.